What if I told you there's a simple, often overlooked food that's not only easy to find and affordable, but also contains more high-quality, muscle-preserving protein than an egg? Yep, that's right. One food hiding in plain sight could help slow down or even reverse the age-related muscle loss that sneaks up on us, starting in our 30s. Now let's talk about why this matters. Sarcopenia, the gradual quiet loss of muscle, isn't just about losing strength or seeing less tone in the mirror. It's actually a red flag for bigger problems: a slower metabolism, chronic inflammation, unstable blood sugar, and even faster cognitive decline. Most people don't realize just how critical it is to maintain lean muscle as they age, not just for fitness, but for independence, brain health, and even mood. You could be doing all the right things, working out regularly, eating clean, sleeping well, but if you're not getting the right type of protein at the right time, in the right form, your muscle loss could still be marching forward, year after year. So today, I want to introduce you to a humble, powerful food, one that's even higher in leucine than eggs. This matters because leucine is the amino acid that flips the switch on your body's muscle-building process, known as the mTOR pathway. We'll talk more about that in a bit, but first, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop it in the comments. Before we dive in, feel free to ask any questions, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on Senior Health's most useful tips. And hey, if this video hits home, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'd love to see where everyone stands. Now, let me be clear, this isn't some trendy powder or overpriced supplement. This is actual food, backed by solid science. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a clear, research-supported game plan to keep your strength, boost your brain power, and stay independent well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond, all through small strategic adjustments to your routine. The key? One powerful shift: understanding when you eat protein and what kind of protein you're eating. Let's start with the basics. When you ask someone what food is high in protein, chances are they'll say eggs. And that's a great answer. Eggs are nutrient-dense, bioavailable, and inexpensive. One large egg gives you about 6 grams of high-quality protein with a solid amino acid profile. But here's where things get interesting. There's a food that beats eggs when it comes to nighttime muscle support. And that food is, drumroll, cottage cheese. Specifically, low-fat cottage cheese. In just half to 1 full cup, you get around 14 grams of protein, equivalent to over 2 eggs. But here's the real kicker. Most of that protein is casein, which digests slowly. And that's a huge deal. You see, during sleep, your body enters a natural fasting state. You're not eating for 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even longer. If your body doesn't have a steady stream of amino acids during that time, it starts to break down muscle to meet its needs. That's where the slow-digesting casein in cottage cheese becomes a game-changer. It releases amino acids steadily, over 6 to 7 hours, keeping your muscles fed all night. Think of it like this: fast-digesting proteins, like eggs or whey, are great right after a workout. They rush amino acids into your system. But for overnight recovery, you want something steady, something that won't spike and crash. You want casein. In fact, a 2012 study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise showed that participants who consumed 40 grams of casein protein before bed had significantly higher rates of overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those who didn't. And that's not an isolated finding. A 2019 study in Nutrients confirmed that pre-bedtime protein improves muscle strength and mass, especially in older adults. So how do you put this into action? Here's your pre-sleep muscle protocol. Protein target: 14 to 28 grams food, 1/2 to 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese, optional add-ins, a dash of cinnamon, a teaspoon of honey, or a few walnuts. Timing: Eat 30 to 60 minutes before bed, ideally after a physically active day or a strength training workout now. If you're lactose intolerant, don't worry, you've still got options. Many brands now offer lactose-free cottage cheese, and casein protein isolate powders offer similar benefits. The key here is leucine-rich, slow-digesting protein that can fuel your muscles while you rest. Because here's the thing, it's not just about eating more protein. It's about eating the right kind of protein at the right time. Now, imagine your body has a switch on that tells your muscles, hey, it's time to grow. Time to rebuild. That switch is called mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. It's one of the main regulators of muscle growth in your body. But here's the catch. mTOR doesn't stay on all the time. In fact, especially as we age, it's often sluggish or barely active. That's why simply increasing protein won't always get you results. To fully activate mTOR, you need a threshold dose of leucine, usually about 2.5 to 3 grams per meal. Think of leucine like the foreman on a construction site. Without it, you've got all the building materials, bricks, cement, beams, but nobody's giving instructions. Nothing gets built. So how does cottage cheese stack up? Glad you asked. 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese contains about 2.6 grams of leucine. That's enough to flip the mTOR switch and kick muscle protein synthesis into gear. That's a big deal, especially considering that many plant-based and even some animal-based proteins don't offer enough leucine in a single serving. According to the Journal of Nutrition, leucine-rich meals can boost muscle protein synthesis by as much as 25% more than meals with the same amount of protein but less leucine. And in Clinical Nutrition, 2011, researchers found that older adults who supplemented with leucine more muscle and strength, even without changing their exercise habits. So here's a practical guideline. Leucine threshold protocol target: 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. Sources: 1 cup cottage cheese, 5 ounces chicken breast, or 2.5 scoops of whey protein. Frequency: 3 to 4 meals per day with high-quality protein. But here's where this gets even more exciting, and we'll dive into it more in the next part. Muscle isn't just about strength. It's about insulin sensitivity, brain health, and emotional resilience. The link between muscle and mind is stronger than you think. All right, now that we've uncovered how cottage cheese and leucine-rich proteins can flip the muscle-building switch, let's go even deeper, because this isn't just about looking toned or staying strong. There's a direct line connecting your muscle health to your brain, your metabolism, and your emotional resilience. Yes, you heard that right. Muscle is brain fuel. The more we study it, the more we realize that your muscles are like hidden engines powering your entire system. They don't just move you around, they influence hormones, regulate your blood sugar, and even impact your memory and mood. Here's how. Every time you move, whether you're walking, lifting weights, or even just stretching, your muscles release tiny signaling proteins called myokines. One of the most powerful myokines is irisin, which travels through your bloodstream and heads straight to your brain. Once there, it stimulates something called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is like Miracle-Gro for your neurons. It helps build new brain cells, strengthen existing ones, and form new neural connections. That means better memory, sharper thinking, and stronger emotional regulation. It's no wonder scientists often call BDNF the fertilizer for your brain. So yes, your biceps and your brain are definitely in sync. Now let's add another layer: inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation, or what researchers now call inflammaging, is one of the major drivers of age-related diseases, including cognitive decline. But muscle helps here too. Resistance training, combined with adequate protein, especially leucine-rich sources like cottage cheese, has been shown to lower inflammatory markers like CRP and IL-6. And if you need more reason to care about your muscle mass, Older adults with lower muscle mass have been shown to have higher rates of depression, even after accounting for things like cardiovascular disease or lifestyle factors. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found a strong connection between muscle loss and depressive symptoms. Another major study published in Neurology in 2022 revealed that greater muscle mass in midlife was linked to a significantly lower risk of dementia in later years. So no, it's not just vanity. Your muscles are the biochemical anchors for your mood, your memory, your energy, and your independence. And guess what else they help regulate? Insulin sensitivity. When you have more lean muscle, your body is better at managing blood sugar. That means fewer spikes and crashes, more sustained energy, and less brain fog. When muscle mass is low, blood sugar regulation suffers, and that contributes to fatigue, mood swings, and the kind of metabolic slowdown that makes you feel like you're dragging through the day. So if your energy's been dipping, your memory's been spotty, or your motivation's been missing, check your muscle. It might be time to rebuild from the inside out. Now, here's the strategy. This isn't just about protein shakes or gym workouts. You need a full spectrum, muscle-preserving lifestyle. Let's break that down. 1. Eat protein at the right times. Timing is everything. Most people load up on protein at dinner and barely eat any at breakfast. But that's backwards if you're trying to preserve or grow muscle. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2020 showed that spreading protein across 3 to 4 meals a day leads to significantly more muscle protein synthesis than just cramming it in at the end of the day. And remember, nighttime is when your body naturally shifts into recovery mode. So giving it a slow digesting protein like cottage cheese before bed helps optimize that overnight muscle repair window. Here's your protein timing game plan. Breakfast, 20 to 40 grams of protein within 1 hour of waking lunch. Another 20 to 40 grams dinner. Same again pre-bed. 30 grams of casein or 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese. And if you train in the evening, even better. That evening protein lines up perfectly with your body's natural spike in recovery signals and growth hormone release while you sleep. 2. Strength train 2 to 4 times per week. You don't need to become a bodybuilder. You don't even need a gym membership. But you do need to send your muscles the signal to grow. Resistance bands, body weight squats, wall push-ups, or light dumbbells. These all count. The key is consistency and intentional fatigue. That means challenging your muscles until they feel tired, just shy of failure. And it's not just strength. Movement frequency matters too. Daily movement target. Take 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Or shoot for 30 minutes of moderate movement, like brisk walking, gardening, or even dancing around your kitchen. These small movements add up. They keep your Neokin's flowing, your blood sugar stable, and your joints happy. 3. Prioritize sleep and hydration. Sleep isn't just for rest. It's when your body does its most important rebuilding work. Aim for 7 to 9 hours per night and start winding down at least 1 hour before bedtime. Keep the lights low, skip the screens, and if you struggle to fall asleep, consider calming supplements like magnesium glycinate or a quick breathwork session. And don't forget hydration. Dehydration can lower strength, slow protein synthesis, and affect cognition. Aim for 8 to 10 cups of water daily, more if you're active. 4. Avoid muscle saboteurs. This might sting, but we've got to be real. There are some common habits that sabotage muscle mass. Too much alcohol, highly processed foods, long stretches of sitting, excessive cardio without resistance training. Cardio has its place, but when it's overdone and paired with low protein, it can accelerate muscle loss. Remember, strength is balanced. And here's where things really come together. Muscle isn't lost just because we age. It's lost because we stop giving our body the message to keep it. That message comes in the form of resistance training, strategic protein, rest, And nutrient timing. The strength blueprint. 3 to 4 meals a day with 30 to 40 grams of protein, leucine-rich foods like eggs, poultry, Greek yogurt, and cottage cheese, 1 pre-bed protein meal with casein. 1 cup cottage cheese or 30 grams of casein powder. Lift weights or do resistance training 2 to 4x week. Daily movement, aim for 7,000 to 10,000 steps. Prioritize sleep, hydration, and regular mealtimes. Reduce muscle saboteurs, especially processed food and chronic stress. That's how you maintain the muscle that lifts you out of chairs, protects your joints, supports your energy, and sharpens your brain as you age. And the best part? It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. You don't need to train like an athlete or obsess over every gram of protein. But you do need to send the right signals, day in and day out. So here we are, wrapping everything up with a simple, science-backed daily protocol that you can start using immediately. This isn't guesswork or some extreme diet or exercise plan. It's all about giving your body exactly what it needs, when it needs it, to protect and even rebuild your muscle as you age. Let's break it down into a straightforward system. The strength protocol. 1. Protein timing. 3 to 4 meals a day. One of the most important takeaways is that protein isn't just about how much you get in a day, it's about when you eat it. Spacing out your protein across 3 or 4 meals provides multiple muscle-building triggers throughout the day. Each meal should include 30 to 40 grams of protein, 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, to fully activate the mTOR switch. That's your green light for muscle protein synthesis. Here's how that looks. Breakfast: 2 eggs plus 1 slice of whole grain toast plus Greek yogurt. Lunch: 5 Oz grilled chicken breast plus vegetables plus quinoa. Dinner: salmon fillet plus sweet potatoes, mixed greens. Before bed: 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese or a 30 grams casein shake. This gives you steady leucine-rich meals that keep your muscles fed, recovered, and growing even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. 2. Make leucine-rich proteins a priority. Not all proteins are created equal. You could eat a huge portion of low leucine protein and still not get the full anabolic, muscle-building benefit. This is why quality greater than quantity. Here are some of the most effective leucine-rich proteins per serving. 1 cup low-fat cottage cheese, approximately 2.6 grams leucine. 5 ounces chicken breast, approximately 3 grams leucine. 2.5 scoops of whey protein, 2.5 to 3 grams leucine. 2 eggs. Greek yogurt, approximately 2.5 grams combined, if you're vegetarian or plant-based. It's a bit more challenging, but not impossible. You'll just need to combine plant proteins strategically or consider supplementation with leucine or a complete BCAA blend. 3. Resistance training. 3-4 times per week. This doesn't mean lifting heavy weights or doing CrossFit. It means challenging your muscles consistently. That could be body weight squats, wall or countertop push-ups, resistance band workouts, light dumbbell circuits, stair climbing, or hill walks. The key is progressive overload, making the exercise slightly more challenging each week by adding reps, sets, or resistance. Focus on compound movements, exercises that use multiple muscle groups like squats, lunges, push-ups, and rows. Aim for 2 to 4 sessions per week, with a day of rest or light walking in between. And remember, consistency beats intensity. Showing up regularly with moderate effort is more powerful than occasional all-out efforts. 4. Daily movement. 7,000 to 10,000 steps outside the gym. Movement still matters. Try to avoid long stretches of sitting and sprinkle in movement throughout your day. Take the stairs, go for post-meal walks, do a few squats or shoulder rolls every hour, garden, clean, or do light housework. It all counts. The goal is to keep the myokines flowing and your circulation active. If you enjoy higher intensity activities, great. Add in a few short bursts of stair climbing, brisk walking, or dancing. Just make sure to balance it with rest. 5. Optimize. Sleep for recovery. Your muscles don't grow in the gym, they grow during rest. And the most restorative time for muscle repair is during deep sleep. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, a relaxing wind-down routine starting 60 minutes before bed, reducing screen exposure after sunset, using calming practices like deep breathing, magnesium supplements, or herbal teas if you can get high-quality sleep and slow digesting protein in your system before bed. You're doing your body a huge favor. Pro tip: eating cottage cheese or a casein shake before sleep helps keep amino acids flowing through your bloodstream for 6 to 8 hours while you rest. That's like putting your body into overnight repair mode. 6. Watch for muscle saboteurs. Certain things can silently chip away at your muscle-building efforts. Alcohol interferes with protein synthesis and disrupts sleep. Ultra-processed foods often lack critical nutrients and trigger inflammation. Long sedentary periods cause muscle breakdown and reduce insulin sensitivity. Chronic cardio-only workouts without resistance training lead to catabolism. Unmanaged stress raises cortisol, a hormone that encourages muscle breakdown. You don't have to be perfect, but keep these in mind. It's about strategic trade-offs, not strict elimination. 7. Think of muscle as cognitive insurance. Your brain loves muscle. The more lean mass you have, the more insulin sensitive, inflammation resistant, and neurologically sharp you tend to be. Studies have found that strong muscle mass in midlife is associated with lower dementia risk, improved mood stability, better blood sugar regulation, reduced chronic inflammation, enhanced BDNF activity, brain growth factor, and you can create that outcome through daily habits, not just genes or luck. So here's the big idea. Muscle isn't lost because we age, it's lost because we stop giving the body what it needs to keep it. Once you learn how to send the right signals, resistance, rest, and recovery, your body responds at any age. And we started this whole journey with a simple question: is there a food that naturally prevents muscle loss after 60 and contains more protein than eggs? Yes, it's cottage cheese. But we didn't stop there. We uncovered an entire system built around timing, leucine, daily movement, and slow digesting proteins. Here's your final strength snapshot: 3 to 4 meals a day with 30-40 grams protein, each leucine-rich foods like cottage cheese, chicken, eggs, and Greek yogurt. 1 cup cottage cheese before bed for overnight repair. Strength training 2 to 4 times a week. 7,000 to 10,000 steps daily. 7-9 hours of sleep nightly. Minimal ultra-processed foods and reduced alcohol. A clear, consistent routine tailored to your biology, not your calendar age. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to align your habits with how your body actually works. Muscle is what helps you get up off the couch, lift your groceries, support your spine, stabilize your joints, and maintain your independence. It's what powers your heart, sharpens your mind, and protects you from age-related decline. You don't lose it because you get older. You lose it because you stop telling your body it matters. So tell it. Show it. Feed it. Train it. Let your body know every day that strength still matters. If you found value in this episode, give it a thumbs up. It helps this channel reach more people who need this kind of guidance. And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next episode. Drop a comment below and let me know what habit you're going to start today. I'd love to hear your plan. Until next time, stay strong, stay sharp, and stay independent. What a quick summary of the leucine threshold protocol, or the pre-sleep protein strategy. Let me know and I'll send you a cheat sheet.